Welcome to Stryker of I forgot about the bunny costume. With the chainsaw arm and the shotgun. It's the weaponry from Evil Dead, but it's Easter around here in North America, or it's coming up, so I threw in a bunny costume. But yeah, hey, you remember this? You remember the good old days in the Division where you had loot lights everywhere? What was it, like farming for Bullet King, which I got to do like twice, then they changed it. Is it back, Stryker? No, it's not. 1.6 has essentially changed all this as well. A friend told me about being able to do this in this certain way. I made a few modifications, but it is not originally by me. There could be one other guy that's done this, or there could be a dozen. You know how it is on the internet, right? Who knows who originated it, but I'm basically here to give it to you guys. But yeah, 1.6 was literally a couple of days away when I found out about this method. It did change things, so I'm going to give those changes to you. So all is not lost. This trick actually still works. The title and the description, it's not what the original video, whoever made it, it's not their title. But I thought, well, it still is a fast way of making experience and a fast way of getting, at least especially the field caches, you know, those things that build up in the upper right part of your screen. So these are the abilities that we're going to need in order to do this. So first we're going to want to have the pulse. Specifically, we want the tactical scanner in order to increase hit damage done to enemies. I don't know if this necessarily works in conjunction with the Seeker Ball itself, but we are also going to pick the Seeker Ball. That's kind of the one thing that we need, and we're actually going to turn on the cluster modification for that, so that it splits into the smaller mines. Of course, you guys know this stuff. And then we're also going to, since I'm assuming that some of you are going to be doing this on your own, we're going to pick a recovery link, because those that don't know, this actually will pick you up when you take critical damage. When you're by yourself, it picks you up automatically. Now, for the talents, we are going to pick shrapnel, because we are going to get the shrapnel, the bleed effect done to some people. We want to increase that. We also want demolition expert for explosive damage, and then we also want chain reaction in order to modify that even more. You can pick whatever you want for the fourth one. And for our equipment, we want to get a skill power of at least over 200,000. Quite honestly, you're probably going to need 250. So that's an electronics equivalent of about 7,000 to 8,000. Please don't laugh at my gear. I'm coming to the party late with this game. I don't have, you know, the best equipment, but I went from like a score of 189 to 256 in a matter of a number of weeks. They really do give out the 256 gear like candy. This is where you want to be. I'm in World Tier 5, of course. It's going to be the Warren Gate mission, of course, the Warren Gate power plant. This is where it is on the map. This isn't necessarily for a lot of you long-time, high-level players. This is more for the people just getting into this game. Maybe they got it cheap. But essentially, we're going to have to modify this, but what you're doing is you're starting the mission, you're throwing out your Seeker Ball at the first group of enemies, and you should be doing enough damage with that Seeker Ball to outright kill them without having to fire a bullet. That's the idea. Now, that's back when this was actually working on a normal level. Or you could crank it up to hard difficulty, but you would actually need to do a little bit more damage to finish off the teammates. That's how you were basically getting all these loot lights, because you were killing the initial 3 guys over and over again. You can obviously continue to fight the second group of 3 guys or so, you know, plus or minus a sniper. That's what you get when you're playing by yourself. But essentially, you get those kills, you back up, you hold down the button for difficulty, you select the difficulty again, and now, boom, now the mission has completely reset. So that's why Warren Gate works really well, is because its reset is right next to a group of enemies. This might or might not work on some other levels, but for the most part, this is one of the better ones. So, and that's basically what we are getting. We're trying to earn those caches, of course. As you can see, I've nearly filled it up. So you're basically getting that experience, and you're backing up back into the starting point of the mission, and then you're reselecting the difficulty. So here we go. This is Xbox One, so we hold down the Y button. It should be triangle for you. and it pre-selects what difficulty you're on. You can actually do it pretty quick. And there you go. I got a field proficiency cache. So that's basically what we want, right? Those are the things that you can open up and get some really good equipment with. And like I said, this might not work for everybody, but for some of you, you might actually like getting the experience of those initial 3 kills as well. So that's the method. Basically, starting a mission, getting some kills really fast, and then restarting it by backing up into the starting point and reselecting the difficulty. Use that for what you will, no matter what they do, no matter what they change. Even if they go to 1.7, 1.8, if you can still do this and get experience and your field proficiency cache, I say go for it. I just be aware that doing Warren Gate in 1.6 now, it really doesn't give you much of anything on normal or on hard difficulty, so know that. Which brings me to my second point. You need to play on challenging difficulty or higher in order to get drops of any kind, it seems like, at least for Warren Gate. I, again, don't know about the other ones, but seriously, this is only a few minutes of play, and I've already had a number of teal pieces of armor get dropped and a couple of weapons. And the weapons that did get dropped when I went to go pick them up, they're actually completely new for the 1.6 update, so I kind of lucked out. So yeah, you need to play on this harder difficulty. Find some friends. On your own, you might be able to get some kills. You might need some help, but yeah, and just remember that your electronics don't come back as fast as they used to in 1.5, so your pulse and your seeker balls, they take longer to come back. But Stryker, what about legendary difficulty? Can I do that on my own? Well, legendary is kind of like how I like my women. It's strong and independent, and it's gonna F you when you want, but it won't necessarily F you the way you want it to. You're gonna die, and you're gonna die a lot, but yeah, you can play it. But that's where my next point is: bring more players with you. And you might be thinking, well, Stryker, I don't actually have friends. Notice I said players, not friends. So like I said, you're going to need to play on legendary or higher in order to get your stuff. Now, this is footage of me playing on normal. Don't confuse that with what I said. I'm basically showing you here that normal and hard, you don't get any equipment now. They changed it. I don't know if it's like that across the board. I don't know if 256 gear score players now don't get any kind of drops, or if they've seen what people have been doing in this particular mission and they stopped just that. I didn't explore every single avenue, but like I said, just be aware. You know, you can bring more players into this if you don't mind. If you want to get some kills fast, have your the leader buddy, have him back up 15 feet and restart the mission every once in a while and just start, killing those first few guys. You'll get your field caches. Like I said, in 1.6 now, if you have your gear exactly spec'd out the way it was before, you will not get your seeker ball and your pulse and your electronics in general. They will not replenish as fast as they used to. If you really look at the footage I was doing, as you can see, I'm still waiting for it to come back. Now I get to have it back. So throwing out that second seeker ball actually takes me quite a bit of time. If you had a second player, boom, you could probably do it, right away. You guys can probably chew through even challenging. Even on World 5, not too bad. Those opening players, you can probably kill quite a few of them. Have a guy come with the flamethrower turret, slow some of the rushers down. You might even be able to do it as a group, even on the legendary difficulty. So definitely try that. Like I said, this isn't an all-inclusive thing. It's something you can do. You might find it easier to just play with randoms and go through the daily missions on hard and legendary for yourself. But hey, I wanted you guys to know it. I hope it helps out some.